Welcome back to the Chattable Podcast, where enrich vocabulary and speak English with pride.
We are so glad to have you with us again.
Yeah, we really are. And before we jump into things today, I just want to mention something quickly. You might notice we're speaking just a little bit slower today.
Yes, completely intentional.
Right. We want to give you the space to catch every single word, every nuance of the vocabulary we're covering in this episode.
Because when you're mastering a language, rushing really doesn't help.
No, it doesn't.
You need time to absorb the feeling of the words. And today, the mission for this episode is to help you master two truly fascinating English idioms.
Two of my favorites, actually.
Right. And they describe completely opposite ends of human behavior.
Yes.
So one is all about this ultimate unbreakable reliability.
And the other one?
The other is about secret, hidden betrayal.
Ooh, dramatic. I love it. And by the end of this episode, you aren't just going to know what these two phrases mean on paper. You're going to know exactly when to use them out in the real world.
And maybe more importantly, when not to use them.
Exactly. Because having that emotional intelligence with vocabulary, that is the real secret to speaking English with pride. So let's start with the first phrase on our list, without fail.
Without fail. Yeah, the definition here is incredibly strict, which, is what makes it such a powerful tool in English.
Strict how?
Well, when we say something happens without fail, we mean it happens every single time.
Like zero exceptions.
Zero exceptions. You can absolutely count on it to happen. It is a guarantee of perfect reliability.
I'm really curious about the history here because, the phrase sounds almost like a legal contract to me. Where did without fail actually come from?
You're definitely right to hear a legal tone in there. If we trace this back to Old English expressions, it was originally used in very serious, high-stakes situations.
Like what kind of situations?
We're talking about legal promises or royal commands. The phrase literally means without a failure of the event occurring.
Wow.
Yeah, so it wasn't just a casual observation, it was a mandate.
Okay, so imagine a king in medieval times, right? Looking down at a subject.
Right.
And if that king gives you a direct command and tells you to be at the castle at noon without fail, he isn't like offering a suggestion for your schedule.
Definitely not. It's a matter of life or death at that point.
Right. It means you have absolutely no excuse to be late.
Exactly. The king is demanding absolute perfection. The event must occur with zero exceptions. If you fail, the consequences are severe.
But obviously, the way you and I use it today has evolved. We aren't usually issuing royal commands to our friends.
Well, usually not.
Right, usually not. So how did that intense legal thread turn into modern, everyday English?
It basically evolved into an intensifier. Today, we use without fail to talk about daily habits or situations that are just highly, almost stubbornly predictable.
Oh, I see.
We take that medieval intensity and we apply it to everyday life to show how consistent something is. Like, think about the mom example from our sources.
Oh, yeah. That scenario is just universally understood. Think back to being a teenager. You're getting ready to leave the house, right? Heading to a party with your friends.
We've all been there.
Yeah. And your mother, standing by the front door, stops you and says, without fail, no drugs, honey.
And notice what the phrase does to that memory. It shows that every single time the teenager left for a party, the mother gave that exact same warning.
Right. It wasn't a random occurrence.
No, it was a completely predictable, immovable part of the routine.
She didn't say it just occasionally or like only on Friday nights. She said it every single time she saw you walking out that door.
Without fail.
Without fail. It adds this layer of comfort and predictability to the sentence.
Yeah, and we also use this idiom to describe a person who is incredibly disciplined with their own routines.
Okay, give me an example.
Let's take another common scenario. Imagine a guy named David, and he is highly committed to his fitness.
Good for David.
Right. He goes for a 5-mile run every morning at 6 a.m. without fail.
So what happens mechanically in the sentence when we add that phrase at the end? Like if I just tell you David goes for a 5-mile run every morning, you understand he has a healthy habit.
Sure. But adding without fail at the end of the sentence, it acts as an anchor. It emphasizes that there are truly no exceptions to his routine.
So if it's raining, he runs.
He runs.
If it's snowing.
He runs. If he's feeling tired, it just doesn't matter. He does it every time. It elevates a simple habit into an absolute certainty.
Wait, I'm thinking about the boundaries of this rule, though, because humans are humans. What if someone is extremely reliable, but they, mess up once?
How do you mean?
Let's say you have a friend who comes over for dinner every Friday, but maybe once or twice a year they get a flat tire or they get sick and they miss dinner.
Okay.
Can you still say they come over to dinner without fail?
See, that is a critical distinction for anyone learning English, and the answer is a firm no.
Really? A firm no.
Yes. You cannot use this phrase if you aren't 100% sure the event will happen. Words like usually, mostly, or almost always, they just aren't enough.
Wow, so it's that strict.
Without fail demands absolute perfection in the pattern. If there is a recognized exception, the idiom breaks.
That's fascinating because it brings up a sort of psychological side effect of using the phrase. Like if you use without fail too much, especially to complain about someone's bad habits,
Right.
it can actually make that person sound a bit like an annoying robot.
Oh, that's a brilliant observation. Think about how it sounds if you constantly say, he leaves his shoes by the door without fail.
Or she interrupts me during meetings without fail.
Exactly. By removing all exceptions, you strip away their human variance. It makes them sound like a machine programmed specifically to annoy you.
It's a heavy, powerful phrase. You really should wield it carefully.
You really should.
So without fail is this linguistic tool to express absolute guaranteed reliability. It's about actions that are predictable and well done right out in the open for everyone to see.
Very true.
But human nature isn't always that transparent, is it? Sometimes people act in the exact opposite way. Which brings us to our next phrase.
Yes, the perfect contrast. What happens when people deliberately hide their actions from plain sight? That brings us to our second idiom in this episode. Behind one's back.
Just hearing the phrase behind one's back, you can instantly feel the mood of the conversation shift.
It does.
It feels much heavier, right? And a lot more cynical.
Yeah, the definition of doing something behind one's back is to act secretly without someone's knowledge.
And crucially, it usually refers to an action that affects the other person, right?
Yes,
Right.
or something that is deeply dishonest and unfair.
I want to look at the literal origin of this one, because unlike the legal contractual history we just talked about with without fail,
Right.
this idiom is intensely physical.
It really is.
It's grounded entirely in human anatomy.
It's entirely based on our field of vision. Like, think about the physical reality of the human body. Our eyes are on the front of our heads. We have a massive blind spot directly behind us. So if you're standing physically behind someone, they cannot see what you're doing. You are literally hidden from their awareness.
And because you're out of their view, you have total freedom to act. And they can't stop you or defend themselves because they don't even know what's happening.
Precisely.
You're weaponizing their physical blind spot.
That's a great way to put it. For centuries, the English language has taken that physical reality and used it as a metaphor to describe people who are sneaky or untrustworthy.
So doing something behind someone's back means exploiting their lack of awareness to serve your own agenda.
Exactly.
Let's look at a dramatic real-world scenario to illustrate just how serious the consequences of this phrase can be.
Okay.
Think about the famous Jackson family in the music industry.
Oh, wow. Yeah, this is a very intense piece of pop culture history that perfectly captures the weight of the idiom.
It really does.
Yeah.
So according to the accounts, Joseph Jackson planned a massive Jackson 5 tour entirely behind Michael's back.
Let's break down the mechanics of that betrayal. Joseph made these massive plans, he signed agreements, and mapped out a future completely secretly.
Without telling Michael.
Right, without telling Michael. And yet, this tour heavily involved Michael's life and career. He was the central figure, but he was kept completely in the blind spot.
And the consequences of that secret planning were severe.
They were.
That specific chain of events ultimately led to the infamous fire incident, where Michael suffered terrible burns to his scalp.
It just highlights the danger associated with acting behind someone's back. When you steal someone's agency and keep them in the dark about things that affect them, it can lead to disaster.
Yeah, Michael was completely unaware of the plans being orchestrated around him.
Obviously, that's an extreme historical example of betrayal.
For sure. But we use this phrase constantly for much smaller, everyday situations, too.
Oh, all the time. It's incredibly common in office environments or, within social circles.
Yeah, think about a standard workplace dynamic involving two colleagues. Let's call them Sarah and Marcus.
Okay, Sarah and Marcus.
The Sarah and Marcus situation is something I think everyone has experienced or witnessed in their career. So Sarah finds out that Marcus applied for the exact same promotion she wanted.
Happens all the time.
Right. But the key detail that makes it a story is that Marcus did this behind her back.
See, Marcus knew she really wanted that job. They had probably discussed it, but he kept his own actions a secret from her.
He was being dishonest by omission.
Exactly, by intentionally not telling her his plans while letting her believe everything was normal between them.
That's why when we talk about malicious gossip, we call it talking behind someone's back.
Right.
When business deals intentionally leave a partner out, those are done behind someone's back. It always involves that element of a social contract being broken.
Which is why the feeling of the phrase is so important.
Okay, I have a trippy scenario for you then.
Oh, bring it on.
I want to challenge the boundaries of this phrase, just like we did with the first one. Because, well, English is full of weird exceptions.
That is an understatement.
What if the secret is actually a good thing?
How do you mean?
Okay, let's imagine a woman named Elena. And Elena wants to do something wonderful and generous for her friend Kevin.
Okay, nice.
So she spends weeks planning a massive surprise birthday party for him. Now, technically, she is doing this secretly. She is doing it entirely out of his sight.
Right.
She is keeping knowledge away from him. So as an English speaker, can you say that Elena planned the party behind Kevin's back?
Oh, that is a fantastic question. And the answer is a very strong no.
A strong no.
Yes. I strongly caution against using the phrase for any kind of positive situation.
Why is that? I mean, if we rely purely on logic, it fits the dictionary definition of keeping a secret.
It fits the literal definition, yes. But remember, our mission for this episode, language isn't just a dictionary. It's about the vibe.
The vibe.
Or what linguists sometimes call semantic prosody. Even though Elena is technically acting outside of Kevin's awareness, we do not use behind someone's back for nice things, gifts, or good surprises.
So using it there would give the listener completely the wrong impression.
Completely. If you tell someone, Elena planned a party behind Kevin's back, the immediate assumption is that Elena is doing something malicious.
Oh, wow.
The listener will think Elena is throwing a party that Kevin explicitly said he didn't want, or she's doing it to make him look foolish.
The phrase almost always carries a negative, dishonest, or sneaky emotional weight.
So what should you say instead?
For a good secret, you would simply say she planned it in secret or she planned a surprise.
That is such a vital nuance to remember. You can't just swap words out like puzzle pieces based on logic alone.
No, you really can't.
You have to understand the emotional weight they carry when they hit the listener's ear.
And understanding that emotional weight is how you truly master the language. It's how you start sounding like a native speaker.
We've covered some really fascinating linguistic territory today. Let's do a quick rapid-fire recap so you can lock these concepts into your mind.
Sounds good.
We've explored two phrases with completely contrasting vibes. First, we looked at without fail. The functional meaning is every single time, absolutely always. And the emotional vibe, it's about being reliable, predictable, and consistent.
And second, we examined behind one's back. The functional meaning is secretly or without permission.
Right.
And the emotional vibe, it's dishonest, sneaky, and involves a breach of trust.
Knowing that vibe, understanding the feeling of the phrase rather than just translating it word for word, is the true secret to speaking English with pride. You want your words to project the exact emotion you intend.
You want to sound natural and confident, and understanding these unwritten rules is exactly how you achieve that. To close out this episode, I want to leave you with a question.
A little homework.
Exactly. Something for you to mull over and apply to your own life. Because connecting the language to your own daily experience is the absolute best way to remember it.
Think about the routines and the people in your own world.
What is one positive thing you do every single day without fail? And on the flip side, how would you feel if someone tried to alter that routine behind your back? Thank you so much for joining us for this episode. Keep practicing, keep listening, and we will talk to you next time.